Hello there, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the Pick Six podcast. I'm your host, Larry Sinski, and alongside me is Danny Witter. There you go. And first off, I'd like to start off by saying a huge thank you for the 30 people that actually listened to our show in, a week, almost 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
And we had 7 good votes and no downvotes. So awesome.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys, supporting us like that. Like, we don't have much going on right now, but we're going to eventually build to it. But thank you so much for supporting us, even with all the technical difficulties we're still trying to figure out.
Yeah, because as of right now, we're using one microphone and we're flipping it back and forth between each other. So, yeah, that's a good times, man.
Yep. Great times. I'm enjoying it. You're handing me the mic. You're eating the mic. It's great. It's perfect. I love it.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of hungry. So, but yeah, I'm going to have to start this one off with some hot off the press breaking news right now. It's going to take me a second to get loaded up here. Even I didn't tell Danny yet, so he doesn't know either.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I don't know if I should be psyched. I don't know if I should be upset. I mean, I am just. I don't know. I'm kind of worried. I'm kind of not worried. Also, let us know any feedback on the podcast as they go on. We're gonna also be evaluating ourselves and everything, but it would be nice to get some viewer feedback. So if you guys happen to have any tips, or you guys feel we should be doing something differently, or we're doing a good job, just send a little comment our way.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, you can also find both of us on Facebook. I'm at Larry Sazinski, SIECZYNSKI on Facebook, and Danny Waiters on Facebook as well, WAIDER. Danny the Man Waiter, or D-Man. He is D-Man. I am also on Twitter at Larry Sazinski as well. I don't have Instagram. I don't have any other shit. Just Facebook and Twitter. But anyway, on to my breaking news. And this sucks for all you Indiana. Let's try that again. I got tongue-tied. Sorry, Sumi. Bad news for you Indianapolis Colts fans.
Uh-oh.
This is fresh off the press. Andrew Luck is retiring.
What? Words cannot become things now, because no big brain time, no, not at all. It makes sense, but at first it's like, whoa, he's just retiring when every time he plays, he's playing at an MVP level. But I can see it because of the amount of injuries he has, and the fact that all through this preseason, he's also been battling through another injury. And wow, that's a wow. I tell you in the last podcast that I can't trust the Colts because I can't trust Andrew Luck, and he's just retiring. I mean, it's smart. I mean, when he was in college, he was a very smart guy. He's very smart on the field, but wow, he's not even going to get a chance to be evaluated in Madden 20 now. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I have the whole article here. I just found this out not but 15 minutes ago while you were downstairs. I was looking on Facebook, and a friend of mine posted it, and it's from Indianapolis, Indiana, from ESPN's Adam Schefter. Andrew Luck plans to retire from football. Schefter said Luck has met with Colts owner Jim Irsay to deliver the news. Luck is expected to make it official during a news conference on Sunday, according to Schefter. A source told Schefter Luck is mentally exhausted and wearing down, which, I mean, I can understand that to a point, but this dude is only 30. So, I mean, but he's been through a lot. So, I mean, I can understand that, especially with the injuries alone. And Luck will turn 30 next month as well. So, he says that he's dealt with a lot of serious shoulder injury that forced him to miss a whole season in 2017. He came back in 2018 and had one of the strongest seasons of his career, dude. Like, literally won 9 of their last 10 games and went to the playoffs. I mean, wow. And it goes on further saying that this offseason has been marred by a high ankle injury and kept him out of the majority of training camp and organized team practices. So yeah, with Luck no longer available, or well, with Luck no longer in the mix, the Colts are going to have to rely on Jacoby Brissett. Oh God, that's just and now we're both going to have to reevaluate that division because if I'm not mistaken, on the last episode I picked the Colts to take the division. Yeah, that's a big blow, and I'm sorry, or all you people in Indianapolis. I really feel for you because myself here being a Michigan, I'm a Colts fan too, and oh my God, this is just unbelievable. I don't have any words either, dude. This is it's shocking but expected at the same time. There's just so much you can do, and I wish him all the best. And damn, that's a big blow.
And as I said, I kind of predicted that something would happen this season and that, I don't trust him, but I didn't expect him to retire. I can understand it, but I mean, I'm not playing professional football, so I don't know how mentally taxing it is. I don't know how physically taxing it is, but I can understand it because, you're playing so much. You played all through high school, you played all through college, and now you're playing with people that are on par with you and coming back from injuries all the time and having to lead your team when your team is literally you, T.Y. Hilton, and now Darius Leonard on defense. That's pretty rough.
Oh, absolutely. And to on the contrary of what you were saying, it's not that it's like I mean I can imagine being a quarterback. You got the world on your shoulders because you are the captain. You are the one in charge. You're carrying the team. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of mental strain on your brain on just those notes too. But you also got to factor in with the amount of injuries he's had, and with him having his problems in this preseason. I think it's more mentally frustrating in the fact that he can't play. And I think that's what's more catching up to him more than anything else is the fact that he keeps on getting hurt. He's been hurt since the mini camp back in what July or something, wherever when they came in to do the the not mandatory,
Yeah.
but the other practices, and he was hurt then, and it's like, oh my God, I just wow, this is like the biggest news so far. I mean, even more so than the Lions injuries from Saturday's or from Thursday's game, Friday's game. You have Slay. Was it Slay and
No, it was Jared Davis
no?
and it was Frank Ragnow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ragnow's good though. It's just a minor sprain. But yeah, I mean, I don't. This really changes the tempo of the show. It really does to me, anyway.
For me, it's just like I said, I predicted it from the beginning, and now I don't have to worry about the Colts rising up out of nowhere because they have a stacked defense. And like I said, Darius Leonard won Defensive Rookie of the Year last year, and he was phenomenal. And so that defense is going to be pretty great. I mean, they got a lot of good pieces on their defense, but their offense is where they're lacking now because all of a sudden they go from, this guy who can take nothing into everything, and then now they have. And Jacoby Brissett, he does a good job filling in. He doesn't do a good job producing wins, though. That's the issue. He will go in and fight for a win, but he's probably not going to come out with a win. So, oh man, they're really going to have to buckle down and find a quarterback this offseason real quick. I I can see a big buster trade. Like think about it. Big Ben, he might see some offers from the Colts. Like hey, we're gonna give you this much money. I can see who else is out there. I can see Andy Dalton because the Bengals kind of want to get rid of him. And I believe they drafted someone in the fourth round to replace him. So the Colts could also go after Andy Dalton. I could see them trying to go for Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles, I think, is just way too inconsistent, but I can see them going for him. And I, I mean, honestly, I can't see anyone going for Stafford only because he has a mega contract and the Lions will not trade him. I don't see them going for Aaron Rodgers. I don't see them going for really any other backups. I think they're just going to have a really hard time trying to figure out who's going to be the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. But on the flip side, as I said, the defense, though, that's what's going to probably win them some games. I feel like their defense is going to be, I wouldn't say top 5, but I think top 15 is good because, as I said, Darius Leonard was everywhere on the field. He was there for, I think, 7 sacks. I think he had 2 interceptions, 4 forced fumbles, over 160 tackles, I think, combined. Like that guy's a monster. And I, I don't know what happened, but they just flipped it midway through the season, or what was it, like 3, 4 games into the season, and then all of a sudden, whew, they just started winning almost every game. But that was also because they had Andrew Luck. Now that's gonna be rough, And what's his name? I can't think of it. Nick Foles. He is already committed to the Jackson Jaguars, so he's off the market. But even Joe Flacco or Kirk Cousins, I could see going to the Colts, just because Jacoby Brissett is just. I don't see him being that starting caliber quarterback.
I totally agree with you. I have one for you. I think that would be sweet, and I think he would look good in a Colts uniform. Fucking RG3.
I I can see that. I can see because his history, he when he was younger, he definitely did a lot of great things. But as injuries hit him and as he bounced around from team to team, he just hasn't really been able to cement himself as a starting quarterback or even really as a backup quarterback. He's good for teaching other quarterbacks how to be good, but I don't know if I can see him going to the Colts as he is. There's not many quarterbacks I can actually see the Colts actually being able to get right now because this is a big bomb dropped and they would have to drop a lot of things to just even get a. I don't even think they go 2-14 this year. I think they go 1-15. Without a decent quarterback, I don't think they go anywhere at all.
Yeah, like I said, this is definitely panic mode right now for the Indianapolis Colts. They're gonna have to. I mean, no pun intended, but they're gonna have to scramble to figure out something here. But right now, I would take anything because without Andrew Luck, I like I said, when we mentioned this last time, and yeah, they cannot win without a solid quarterback. I mean, even though you do have, you got T.Y. Hilton, you got Eric Ebron, who can perform, but you definitely need to come up with something, or your season's already over.
Yeah. A quarterback that actually just came to mind because Daniel Jones for the Giants has been killing it in the preseason. I'm thinking maybe
Trade?
they can trade for Eli Manning.
That's not going to happen because Eli Manning has a no trade clause.
Ah, the league's a very weird league. A lot of weird things have happened. A lot of weird things have let go. But regardless, the bottom line is without Andrew Luck, the Colts They're nothing. They are absolutely in rebuild mode as of right now because they need to scout a quarterback. They need to get a decent quarterback at least for the season. And I don't know. I don't know what else to say except they're gonna. I'm sorry to put it bluntly, but they're gonna suck like hard, real hard.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. They got nothing. Oh, I don't know what to say about it anymore, dude. I'm still like in sticker shock right now. It's like going to a car dealership and think you're gonna get like a $30,000 car, but it turns out to be 150,000. It's like what? No, that ain't gonna happen. I don't know. They're gonna have to figure something out. They're gonna have to start releasing players, trading players. Trade. You're gonna have to trade regardless, in my opinion. I don't see anything. I don't see any other plausible situation to get around this whole disaster right now because all the decent free agents are gone. Everybody is all set and ready to go for this awesome and unbelievable and unpredictable season. Usually, when I was very religiously into football, I could predict, yeah, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. They're gonna finish here. They're gonna go there, and it would always come true because of how much I watched football. And there's just so many variables this year that I have no idea what's gonna happen this year. This is one of those situations where anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean they can even talk to the Saints and try to get Teddy Bridgewater. I mean he's a very manageable quarterback. He manages games. He may not be statistically up there, but if you want a game one, he can probably win a game.
Yeah, but you also have to factor in too Drew Brees. He ain't gonna be around much longer, man. And I don't know. I mean, with Teddy Bridgewater, I think he'll be all right with New Orleans, but I don't know. The way I see it right now, with the way things are going in Minnesota, I'd get rid of Case Keenum.
See, the reason why I say Teddy Bridgewater is because they have a utility quarterback on the New Orleans Saints. I can't remember his name, but he's number 7. And he lines up as quarterback. He lines up as running back. He lines up as receiver. He lines up at linebacker, cornerback, receiving kicks, receiving punts. He lines up everywhere. But he's also shown in this preseason that he can actually be a game manager as well. So I think Teddy Bridgewater could be a little more expendable than him because Teddy Bridgewater is stuck as Taysom Hill. Yeah, that man is he can do it all basically. He's as strong as a linebacker. He's as fast as a receiver. He plays as good as any I'll say good quarterback. I won't say great quarterback. I'll say good quarterback. He can play as good as any other good quarterback. And by good, I mean Case Keenum, Nick Foles. Uh, who else is there? I don't want to say Sam Darnold. He's decent. We're going to have to see how well he does with the Jets this year and Le'Veon Bell. But, yeah, anything can happen right now. But I think we should jump onto another topic because we're just going to keep rambling because our brains are just melted right now. We got scrambled egg brain right now.
Yeah, like I said, I was gonna save it for the end of the show, but I'm like, this is a big bomb, and it has to be dropped right off the rip because that is just major. I mean, oh my god. I'll say one more thing, and then we'll move on to what we couldn't finish last week because we ran over. I do want to finish our top fives coming up here shortly after this. Um, and then after that we got another surprise for everybody out there, which I think was a pretty good idea too. But we'll leave that for a minute. I do say sometimes when it comes down, especially with NFL quarterbacks, I, the majority of myself inside feels that it's not how good or bad you are, it's the team you're on. In my opinion, I think Case Keenum is with the wrong team. In my opinion, I say move him. I I would like to see Case Keenum with the Colts. That's my personal opinion. That's my fit. I think he would work very well with that offense. And oh, could you imagine that? I mean, Case Keenum, T.Y. Hilton, and Eric Ebron alone. That might be your saving grace. I mean, that would be something to definitely look into, Colts. Try and make a trade for Case Keenum because right now he's bombing.
Yep, I can see that. Case Keenum is definitely somebody who takes advantage when he has great players around him. Like in Minnesota, he had Dalvin Cook, Darius Leonard, or no, not Darius Leonard, Stephon Diggs, Latavius Murray. That's who it was. Who else? Adam Thielen, Kyle Rudolph. Like he had a great supporting cast, and he knew how to work with them. But the issue is that he went to the Denver Broncos and they didn't have anybody, and that showed his weaknesses. But his strengths are utilizing those great players. And now he's with the Redskins, I believe. Yeah, he's with the Redskins now, and they don't really have anybody. The Redskins really don't know who they are at all. I feel like the Colts and the Redskins tie for the worst in the NFL this year. And yeah, he is with the Redskins. That's
that's basically gonna rule that out right there. That's just not gonna happen.
Oh, I know.
Man, I mean, even then, what are you gonna end up doing here? I mean, the only logical, I forgot that Case Keenum went to fucking Washington. Derek Carr.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically about it. I mean, I don't see anything really blockbuster going here to give Indianapolis a cushion with this major blow. So I don't know. But anyway, we're done with this. We've already been talking half hour already on just this situation by itself.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I really can't tell. This thing doesn't have a counter. Oh yeah, it's right there. You have 23 minutes almost just on that topic alone. Yep. But anyway, let's just have some fun here. And again, I apologize to the Indianapolis Colts and their fan base. It's a major blow. And I hope for the best for you guys, but I'm sorry, you guys need a quarterback and you need it now. Kind of like J.G. Wentworth. It's my quarterback, and I need it now.
Now. Trade every single thing. I tried to come up with the jingle, and it didn't work. I had it in my head.
Try it again. Wait. Try it again.
You trade your draft picks. You'll trade your players. You need a quarterback. You know what to do.
That was fucking awesome. Oh, that was so great. All right, but anyway, I wish nothing but the best for Andrew Luck. Take care of yourself, get healthy. He's only 30. He could come back, could get healthy, take a couple years off, get strength, come back to the NFL. Who knows? That could happen. All right, so let's continue off where we were. Let's continue off. Really? I don't know how to fucking speak English. Let's continue where we left off last time we were together a couple weeks ago, where we were doing our top 5 quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, but then we just completely ran out of time because we were already at an hour and 40 minutes, and that was too long. So we are going to finish up our current top fives of our tight ends, team defense, and kickers. Yep. And that will round out our top 5. So I will start out with my top 5 tight ends. Okay. So get yours ready in your head there, sir. All right. So starting with myself, my number 5 is going to be Jared Cook. Okay. He's on the rise. Fast, mobile. I see it. He's a good blocker. Okay. So I definitely see him improving. Number 4, Eric Ebron. This is another thing here. Whenever the fucking Detroit Lions get rid of somebody, they always go to another team and they become fucking superstars. Why is that? I don't know. That was sarcasm for you that didn't understand that.
Kyle Van Noy, Cliff Averill, two very good players. But in Detroit, they couldn't really do anything except for Cliff Averill. He did pretty well, but he went to the Seahawks and boom, wins the Super Bowl. Kyle Van Noy, boom, he's like the heart of the defense now for the Patriots, and he's won, I believe, 2 Super Bowls now, and that's insane.
Yep, that is the recurring theme for the Detroit Lions. Number 3, I'm going with George Kittle.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Another one that's solid year after year. I expect nothing less for greatness from him again. Number 2, this was my number 2 and number 1 were very, very hard for me to pick. I feel like I'm backwards on 1 and 2, but I still don't care. They're both great. Number 2 from Philadelphia, Zach Ertz. Yep. He is just amazing to watch. He moves like a running back.
He does. Big boy.
And he's just very mobile, and I see him. I don't. It's a tough call between my number 2 and number 1. I would like to see him like clone, and they become Tony Gonzalez.
Nobody will be Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez caught everything his way.
Oh, absolutely, man. Like I said, I had the privilege of watching him grow up as I grew up when I was a kid, and he was one of my favorite ones to watch. And my number 1 from the Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce. Hands down, man. I mean, that whole team last season was just unbelievable. That Kansas City Chiefs team was unstoppable on every aspect of the game. I have never seen a football team play as good as the Chiefs had in my entire life. And, I just hope like hell this is not going to be a sophomore season slump, especially with Mahomes. I really hope he continues with what he did last year, over 5,000 yards, 51 touchdowns. That team is just unbelievable. Everybody's there still, so there should be no reason why we shouldn't have a repeat of last year, if not better. That's one of my strong candidates for the Super Bowl for this year, absolutely. All right, so with the top 5 tight ends, here's Danny.
All right, so it's going to be a little unconventional because I like blocking out of tight ends. I would like a blocking, but consistent tight end. So the yards and everything, those are pretty good, but I want a tight end that keeps getting first downs. Like you throw him the ball, he catches it, first down. He lays out a block, boom, first down for the running back. So
I give you the prime example, even though I fucking hated his Rob Gronkowski, the Gronk. He knew his job, and he knew his job well. So
yep. I'm also going to be a little unconventional with saying 6 picks. I would say, and I know it's a Lion, and I know he's a rookie, but number 6, I see T.J. Hawkinson becoming. I know. I'm just really geeking about him. Every time I see him in the preseason, he's laying out a block. He's taking on some really good defenses, and he's laying out blocks and catching passes over the seam.
This is only going on the 3rd week of preseason, and he's already kissing freaking T.J. Hawkinson's ass. It's going to take a lot more than a couple fantastic catches, because he also had a few disgusting drops. It's too early. Sorry.
I would like you to show me when he had those few disgusting drops. Anyway, number 5, I would give Kyle Rudolph. Oh, yeah. Because he's a very underrated tight end.
Absolutely.
He just does his job. They tell him, hey, go catch the ball. He's like, okay, I'll catch it over everybody. Hey, I'll get you the first down. Hey, I'll block for you. And I think he does a really good job at what he does. Number 4, I would say George Kittle, because, no matter what quarterback is there, he's still getting yards. He's still flying by. He had the most receiving yards by a tight end in NFL history last year. And I believe he's only in his second or third year, so it great things from him. Hopefully, let's hope so. Number three, I would say Travis Kelsey because he is a great receiving tight end, but he's not that great at blocking. He's decent, but he's not like Kyle Rudolph or even George Kittle can throw blocks better than Travis Kelsey. But I still put him at number three because I still think he's better than those other two. But I think those two are more balanced than he is. Number two, oh man, that's a little rough. But
that was almost an ass raping. Damn.
I would say number two, because he came out of retirement, I would say Jason Wynn. Because he is the definition of old reliable. He catches everything. He can make you look silly on a route because he's been in the league so long, and he's really good at blocking. Like that's his thing. He doesn't have many touchdowns, but he's got a lot of blocks. He's got a lot of catches, got a lot of yards. He's great all around.
Yeah, this would be the comparison. Jason Witten is the 2000s version of Tony Gonzalez.
Nope. And now my number one, of course, will have to be the Philadelphia boy, Zach Ertz. I mean, I was so happy that he won a Super Bowl ring. He blocks. He's probably the best blocker as a tight end. He can catch anything. He can make any route happen. He can one-handed, two-handed, double, triple coverage. He's like a mini Calvin Johnson. He's not as fast, but he blocks, he catches, he runs, he goes for the touchdown. I mean, did you not see him in that Super Bowl against the Patriots? That was an amazing touchdown, and that's why he's my number one tight end in the league.
I cannot argue with that one bit. Like I said, I was gonna put him at number one myself, but there's something about Travis Kelsey. Like to me, Zach Ertz plays so perfectly that I don't think there's gonna be room to go above perfection. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, if he can do this for the next freaking 10 years, dude, I'm good with that. I mean, every time I watch Philadelphia play and I see Zach Ertz, he blows my mind every single time because he's again one of those tight ends that can make something out of absolutely nothing. I've seen it a couple of times last season. I don't remember who they were playing against, but there was a couple of times he bust through for 30 yards when the quarterback, it was Nick Foles at the time, he was about to get sacked, tosses off to Zach Ertz and runs for 35 yards. I'm like, damn, man, that's a mover right there. But all right, I like those. I really, that's a good top five. I'm still not counting TJ. It's too early, and it's a top five, not a top six, so technically that doesn't count. All right, now we're going to be moving on to our top five team defense. I didn't want to go to regular players because Jesus Christ, how can you narrow that fine field down to just five players? It's just like fantasy football. There's just too many good players you can talk about, from friggin' Suggs to friggin' Khalil Mack, and there's just so much going on there. So we're doing our top five overall team defense, which I don't think we're gonna be that. I don't think we're gonna be that far off. I don't think so. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna kick it off with my number five, the Chargers.
Okay, I can see that.
Absolutely. They bounced back too. They were in shambles too a couple seasons back, and that is definitely a defense that's on the rise. They really impressed me last year. I'm hoping it continues into this season, so we shall see what happens. Number four, I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
Because your offense is horrible right now. Last year, it was the defense that carried that team, even though,
You got Harrison Smith, who is always by the ball. Like, you look at him, he's got those crack eye football, eyes. So, he's there. You think he's not there. He's there. He's, I'm there. Like, whoa, okay.
Oh yeah, he's definitely there. He's on the ball. Like he's mad. He is mad. Oh, I know. He's so mad. So mad. You see the smoke coming out of his ears and everything. That was more like cocaine there. Ball. Number 3, I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I hear crickets chirping from Danny over here. No, because due to the fact I'm putting them at number 3 this year. They got a few good transactions. So, and like I said, the offensive side of the ball, I can't figure out why people are still picking the Eagles to do one hell of a job this year. I will stick by this until the day that I die. You got rid of the wrong fucking quarterback. Carson Wentz went from hero to zero with that broken knee a couple seasons ago. And instead of keeping Nick Foles in, who won you a fucking Super Bowl, you decide to make him a backup quarterback to Carson Wentz again, and look what happened. You guys are in trouble. The only thing that's going to save your ass is the defense. Their offense ain't going to be shit. My number 2, of course, even though I hate them, the New England Patriots, number 2 spot. They're always consistent on defense, and except for that little game when we played them. We were there, and we watched the Patriots get their ass kicked by the Lions. Remember that?
That makes us Super Bowl champions.
That's right. Oh, that was disgusting, but it was great. And here's a little. I have to digress for the 1 second on this one because it was fucking hilarious. Oh my god! Like I said, me and Danny had this planned 7 months in advance. It was like as soon as the scheduling came out, and we're like, we gotta find a night game that we can go to. So we actually went. Well, we actually went to the New England Patriot Lion game, week 3 of last season. It was my first time ever going to a Lions game. First time at Ford Field. Even when I was growing up, never went to a Lions game, never been to the Silver Dome. So I'm like, yeah, it's about time I finally get a taste of what it's like to actually go to a Lions game. And I honestly, I sat there in the car all the way there. I'm like, man, these Lions are going to get fucking smoked. There's no way in hell. I was expecting them to totally get annihilated. And holy shit, the Lions smacked the living shit out of them on Sunday Night Football. And we were also there to see a record finally being made of Kerryon Johnson being the first Lion since Reggie Bush to rush for over 100 yards. Yes. Oh my God, that place was electrifying. And I don't think I ever told you this. After the game, I got home, and my dad called me. He's like, hey, you're on the news. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I'm on the news. Because I follow the Detroit Lions and shit on Facebook. And I commented on the page about, the Lions on their page about the Lions being the New England Patriots. I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was something along the lines, longtime Lion fan, first time ever seeing a Lions football game, first time Ford Field, blah, blah, blah. The Lions, killed the Patriots. It was a great game. The roof got blown off or something like that. And they actually read my comment on Channel 4.
Oh, yeah, you didn't tell me that. That's
I didn't?
No.
I could have sworn I told you. Oh, yeah, it was amazing. So I went on YouTube, and I searched for it, and I actually found it. And I was like, hell yeah, this was really cool. And to top it all off, they actually pronounced my last name right.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, his last name, when you look at it, you're like, Sky. Sky.
Yeah. People can never figure it out on the first try. Most of them get it wrong. But they nailed it. And I was like, wow, I was actually a 5-second celebrity on Channel 4 News after the Lions game. So, yeah, that was amazing, dude. It was so much fun. And, of course, so we can continue on here. My number 1 team defense, as always, as it has been for the past, 14 years, is the Baltimore Ravens. But, again, I kind of left out a couple points in my head when I was doing this top 5. I forgot that Suggs is gone, and so is C.J. Mosley, and yeah, and oh goddamn, man, I must be on sleeping pills or something. I totally botched that. Wow, can I change it, or is it too late? I'm gonna change. I'm gonna put the Patriots at number 1, and then yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, I kind of feel bad. I don't know why. It's one of those like auto instincts because the Ravens defense has been so solid for over 20 years. It's becoming a normal habit that you know for a fact, especially if you're doing your fantasy football league. Oh, you got to snag the Ravens. You got to snag the Ravens. And yeah, I kind of dropped the ball on that one. Holy shit. Man, I don't know football, do I?
Maybe not. But all right, let me get into my top 5. I would say number 5 would be the Jacksonville Jaguars because they still have Calais Campbell. They have Njoku at defensive end. They got what's his name? It starts with an A. You got Jalen Ramsey, who is probably the best corner in the league, and then you have I can't remember his name, but he's right there. He's right there in the top discussion of the best corners in the league, and I really think cornerback. And I really believe that the defense is still top 5 material because they've built it so well. I think when they acquired Calais Campbell, that's when they really skyrocketed their defense because
DJ Alexander.
no, it's not. It's not DJ Alexander.
Josh Allen.
No, it's not Josh Allen. Man, come on. Cornerbacks for the Jacksonville Jaguars, man. No, man. I need concrete facts, bro. That's what I need. So, did you find the name?
I'm still looking.
Okay. Well, then I'll go to my number 4. My number 4 would be the Chargers because Melvin Ingram, Joey Bosa. There's so many good players on that defense. Casey Hayward, I believe. There was another one. I think he's in his second year, but that defense is going to be great. Number 3, you're going to be surprised, but the 49ers, I believe, because their defensive front,
I can see that.
It has Nick Bosa. It has oh man, all the names are escaping me right now. But they're okay. I know we shouldn't refer to Madden, but in Madden, all of their defensive line is either 88 or above for their overalls. And if you watch them play, they had one of the best defenses in the league. Number 2, I would honestly say the Tennessee Titans because they sneakily had one of the best defenses in the league as well.
Yeah, they were definitely sleepers last year.
Yeah, I wouldn't say last year they were top 3, but they definitely were top 7, top 6. And then my number 1 defense. I didn't really think about number 1, but to be completely honest, because I don't know, I don't think there's really one defense that really sits at me, but I'm gonna say the Jets because of how young their defense is.
Wow.
But they have so many good players. Like they have Jamal Adams at safety, probably the best safety in the league. Their cornerbacks are solid. They have Leonard Williams. They have another defensive tackle I can't think of, but they're all of their players are starter material, even their backups. So their depth and just even last year they were really good. It was their offense that just couldn't click it. But their defense, I think the Jets will have the best defense in the league.
Wow, that is a very, very bold statement, sir. Very. I'm curious now.
Pick the Ravens.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. But the Jets, huh? I would have put them about maybe 4 because they are a young defense, but at number 1 though this soon. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see though. But all right, we're gonna round up. Finally, get through our top 5s.
Wow.
We've been doing this now for we did. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks, but we're gonna finish it off. We're gonna finish off our top 5s with our top 5 kickers. Which, like I said, in my opinion, laugh all you want about kickers. They only get paid to kick a ball, but do I need to bring up Parky? Boing, 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 boing. There's a video on YouTube that still it literally plays all four of those missed kicks against the Lions. And holy shit, it is still funny now. Maybe even funnier than it was last season when it actually happened. But I mean, I feel bad for the guy. He obviously got let go, and I know he's down on himself. But dude, it was so fucking hilarious. But I am gonna start my number 5 with Sebastian Janikowski.
Okay, that's a good one.
I have to put him at number 5 because this dude, he's been slinging the ball longer than Eddie Murray has. He's been in the league, what, 20... This is 21st year, I think it was. 20, 21, something like that. I think it was like 2000... Yeah, well, around 2000, 1999, 2000 when he came in, wasn't it? Something along that line. So I think he's like 48, 49 now. And I actually, he's another one I had on my fantasy team way back when. But yeah, I mean, obviously his stock's gone down. I mean, he's getting up there in age, but he deserves the top 5 spot for me. I wish I could put Adam Vinatieri on here, but he no longer plays, so he just recently retired, which is a bummer because I loved him when he was with the Patriots. He was one of my favorite players. But it was the moment that I have, or the memory that I have of Adam Vinatieri was when he kicked that field goal. The Patriots win the game. He celebrates. He jumps up, and he broke his foot. I'm like, how the hell can you be so unfortunate to break your fucking leg when you're break your ankle when you're celebrating, which was great. But Adam Vinatieri could, holy shit, could he kick a fucking football? I wish I could have put him on there, but unfortunately I can't. Number 4, I'm going with Greg Zuerlein.
I was gonna put him in the same spot, number 4.
Yep, definitely a great place kicker. Number 3, obviously, Robbie Gould.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just, oh my god. This was actually, believe it or not, a tough top 5 to make too, because following number 2, again from New England, Steve Gostkowski. He can kick it from anywhere too. But my number 1, obviously, Matt Prater. I mean, I'm not being biased with the Lions or anything, but Matt Prater, that's one thing I can say that the Lions have specialized in is getting fantastic place kickers. I mean, Eddie Murray.
Yeah, they do a wonderful job. And my top 5 isn't going to be too much different, but I'm going to go rapid fire because we are approaching that 1 hour mark.
Already?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Well,
I got about,
we spent damn near a half hour talking about
I know. Let's see. Number 5, I would say Greg Zuerlein. Number 4, Steven Gostkowski. Number 3, I would say, Yeah, I would say Sebastian Janikowski. Number 2, no. Number 2, I would say Matt Prater. And number 1, I have to say it, Justin Tucker.
Huh?
He is phenomenal. He puts on a show. Like Matt Prater, he has the boot, but Justin Tucker has the swag to be a kicker. He is amazing as a kicker. He makes it a show every time. If he wants to curve it, he'll curve it all the way around. He'll kick it off someone's helmet and into the field goal. Like he's just amazing. Now, it was tough to try to put him above Matt Prater, but Matt Prater is getting older. He still knocked out a 61-yard field goal in the preseason, but I don't know. He also has never missed a field goal that would either tie or win a game. So he also has that going for him. Whereas Justin Tucker, he just has the best completion percentage in NFL history for field goals, which is really why I would put him up there, because no matter where he's at, he's consistent. Whereas Matt Prater, he's consistent when it's clutch, and he's consistent when it's far out. Closer, yeah, he's had actually a few more misses than he has further out. But that's my top 5 for every position, except for, all the defenses, because, picking out specific defensive players, that you're going to have a list of like 30, because it's too hard to just say, well, these are the best 5, because at any time, a number 6 could be number 1. Number 4 could be number 10. It really just changes with each season.
Oh, absolutely. And you took the words out of my mouth there. I was going to mention that 61-yard field goal he hit yesterday. Holy shit. Oh, man, that guy. That was just flat out insane. I swear to God. I swear he could probably still nail it from 70. 75.
If we really wanted to test that out as the Lions, I mean, I'd be fine with Matt Prater attempting a 71-yard field goal. He might fall and hurt himself, but I think he could do it.
Oh, I know for sure he could do it. But anyway, on to our next little bit of fun. A couple weeks ago, I told Danny to come up with 2 teams, pick 2 NFL teams, and create rosters. Your basic starting lineup of current and past players who played for that team. So I will give you my first team. And it's funny, me and Danny both chose the Lions, obviously. So this is going to be kind of interesting to see how everybody's going to face off in this with 2 Detroit Lions teams. But we'll introduce our teams first, and then we'll go more in depth after that. Okay, so I'm going to go with my Lions first. Okay. At quarterback, I have Matthew Stafford. Yep. My running back, I have Barry Sanders. Okay. My wide receiver 1, Calvin Johnson. Wide receiver number 2, Golden Tate. Wide receiver number 3, Roy Williams. Okay. And my tight end, Tony Scheffler. Ooh. Yeah, busting out the old guns. And my second team, I went with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. And it's funny because almost everybody is a past player with the exception of 1. So that shows you where things lie with me here. Yeah. At quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. Yep. That's it. Yep. I had Bradshaw written down, but I'm like, oh, shit.
He did win 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah, he did, but I had to go with Roethlisberger because everybody else has passed. Yep. Running back, Jerome Bettis. Yep, big boy. Oh, yeah. From Detroit, no less, too. Wide receiver number 1, Lynn Swann. Oh. Yeah, I went there. Wide receiver number 2, Plaxico Burress. Yep. Wide receiver number 3, Heinz Ward. Yep. And tight end, Mark Bruner. Yeah, now we're talking some shit. Oh, so those are my 2 teams. So, Danny, what are yours?
Well, of course, I chose the Lions as well, not because I'm a Lions fan or anything,
Well, if you had
support the Lions. But no, I just thought the Lions would be a good little thing we could, talk about. Quarterback Matthew Stafford, of course. I think he is the best quarterback that the Lions have ever had. Calvin Johnson definitely would be the number one wide receiver. The number two wide receiver, I would probably give Golden Tate because he did a very good. I think in 4 or 5 years he posted over 4,000 yards, over 400 catches, over 30 touchdowns. Like he was very productive. Uh, and the third wide receiver, oh that's a tough one because if he would have kept his act together on and off the field, I think he would have been great. And I would say Titus Young because I think he was phenomenal. He was a playmaker, but he was a child, though. He was not ready to be in the NFL, and he was out real quick with his attitude, saying that he needed more catches than Calvin Johnson. He needed more targets than Calvin Johnson. And he was just a baby about it. But if he would have just had a better attitude, I think he would have been even a second, maybe even splitting the first wide receiver snaps with Calvin. My tight end, that's man, I want to say Eric Ebron because he would have been, if he could have just been consistent, he would have been great because he's just fast, he's big, he's not a good blocker, but if you want him to run down the field, nobody's catching him. Like, that's a great guy. But man, I would probably say Don Molbeck. No, I'm just kidding. Man, what's his name? Fitzsimmons. There we go. I would say him. And this is where, for running back, you're going to be like, what? But if he did not get injured, and he was before Barry Sanders, Billy Sims would be my running back because statistically, he did much better than Barry Sanders did his first 3-4 years, I believe. And then he got injured, and unfortunately, he had to retire early. But if he didn't get injured, his yards, his touchdowns, his carries, his yards per carry, even his receiving stats were much better than Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders just kept it consistently. And he also had a 2,000-yard season. But Billy Sims, I believe, would have also had that because he went 1,300 as a rookie, 1,400 as a sophomore. And then he had a little injury his third year. His fourth year was cut short. And then it just declined from there. And, that's my all-star team for the Lions.
I'd have to interject here before you continue on to your second team. I thought I had you pegged, especially when you started saying your third receiver about the bad attitude, problems on and off in the field. I thought for sure you were going to go with Charles Rogers. That's where I thought you were going with that, and I'm actually very surprised with the Sims reference. That's absolutely brilliant, and I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, because it's easy to put Barry Sanders because he was there for 9 years, I believe, almost 10 years, but then he retired early. But Billy Sims he's like a Bo Jackson. What could have been, you don't know, and that's what makes him great. But unfortunately, I don't think they're going to look at that and put him into the Hall of Fame, unfortunately. Billy Sims is probably going to be one of those, should have been in the Hall of Fame, but most likely probably won't. Now, my second team, and I'll try to keep this short because we are running a little later, but that's okay. I picked the Carolina Panthers. Quarterback, I would say Jake Delhomme. I wouldn't say Cam Newton because he just gets injured a lot and his attitude he's very flashy, and then his attitude is also flashy at the same time, and I think it's just a little too much. At least Jake Delhomme kept himself composed, and he did things with the Panthers.
And the fact that he was a better quarterback.
Of course. Let's see. Number 1 wide receiver, Steve Smith. Number 2, I would say DJ Moore. He was a rookie last year or 2 years ago. No, yep, it was last year. And he did a phenomenal job. And I think he's going to do a great job this year. And then number 3, I would say Kelvin Benjamin. If he would have just kept his weight down, I think he still would have been putting up 1,000-yard seasons and being a great safety blanket for Carolina. I think Greg Olsen is the best tight end Carolina had, and I believe they won't find another one like him because he was the first tight end to record 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He's pretty good in the end zone. There was one time there was nobody within 20 yards of Greg Olsen in the end zone one play. And that just showcases him because he made a nice cut route, jumped right up the seam, and he was just gone. And he's not a fast guy. And then running back, I'm going to go with 2 of them. I'm going to go with D'Angelo Williams. And I'm going to have to go with Larry's favorite player, Christian McCaffrey. And that's my top 2 teams.
All right. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey, man. God damn, I love that guy. What a fantastic player. I thought you were going to go James Stewart.
I thought about it, boy.
Oh, you actually thought about putting James Stewart up there?
Yeah. Because him and D'Angelo Williams made a perfect combo. Even though D'Angelo Williams is the one that had, I believe, the 1,300 or 1,500-yard season, which just blew everyone out of the water. And then he went to Pittsburgh, and he did 1,000 yards there, too. Guy was a beast. He just couldn't be consistent, though.
All right, so let's have some fun here. How do you want to do this? Do you want to go Lions versus Panthers? Well, my Lions versus your Panthers? Or do you want to go your Lions versus my Lions versus my Steelers and your Panthers? Ooh. You know what? I'm going to have... I say we go Lions versus Lions.
Okay.
Because you want to know why I want to go Lions versus Lions? Because we're just about deadlocked.
Yeah.
And I almost want to give you the edge on this one, just because you pulled Sims out. Because this is basically all of what could have been.
Yeah, and same thing.
Aspect. So
Same thing with Titus Young. As I said, if he would have just kept himself, clean, and if he would have just, stayed consistent, and he was better off the field and on the field, I think he would have been a really good, maybe even a really great receiver. So that's why I put him, and that's where I think I get the edge, because Roy Williams was good, and I believe he's the one that, no, it was Herman Moore that gave Calvin the nickname, but I still think that with the team that I put together, I think my Lions just barely scraped by, but that's a whole nother discussion for another day, because we got defensive players to talk about another time.
Oh, absolutely. Oh man, where would you begin? I mean, just to name a few. I mean, Chris Spielman, Mike Utley. Oh, and that's another thing about being old. I actually saw the game where Utley went down and was paralyzed and all that. It was very, very horrible to see. That's shit you don't like seeing when you watch football. And because I don't want to. Here we go again with a digression. But it reminds me of the game after Utley went down. A couple years after that, Don Beebe for the Buffalo Bills was going up, landed straight on his fucking head, but he got up. Got up without a scratch, walked away, shook it off, came back in the next series. But then again, you got Utley, who really didn't look that bad, and paralyzed for the rest of his life. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Okay, so now we got the Lions versus the Lions. Danny wins that round, and now we're moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers. My Pittsburgh Steelers and his Carolina Panthers. I'm sorry, my Pittsburgh Steelers will slaughter your Carolina Panthers, hands down. No, I'm sorry, this one's all me. I mean, you can't touch Bettis, Swan, Burris, and Ward.
I see where you're getting at, because Bettis was a freight train. But remember, he was defeatable because Ray Lewis took him out with a nice big blow.
One play.
Ben Roethlisberger, he's hard to tackle, so I can see that. Hines Ward, he was a rough player. Like, he made blocks. And when he blocked you, he blocked you. You know, he wasn't the fastest guy, but he could also, get around you real quick and catch the ball at any angle. Who else do you have? You have...
Tony Sheffler. Or not Tony Sheffler. All right, put my notes away, damn it.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, because...
Mark Bruner is my tight end.
Yeah.
He was a beefy motherfucker, too.
And then on my side, I have Jake Delhomme. Depending on your defense, he would probably have a hard time with your defense. But give him DJ Moore, who almost burned the Lions, but Darius Slay just barely caught up to him last season. Calvin Benjamin can catch it over anybody, but he just couldn't keep his weight down. That's why he was traded away. And then Steve Smith was that was a different guy. Like, Hines Ward was a really tough guy, but Steve Smith was in your face. He didn't just block you, he stiff-armed the heck out of you. It doesn't matter what defender you were. He stiff-armed, he could truck people. Like, he wasn't the biggest guy, but if you watch his games, man, he played like he was a tight end.
Oh yeah, but again, I have an answer for that one. Lynn fucking Swan, same thing. So I don't know, man. I think I got this one.
I think you do have this one. I still give Steve Smith more than Lynn Swan, just because Steve Smith produced for both the Panthers and the Ravens, and he just... Man, I think he finished with 15,000 receiving yards. He had 100 or almost 100 receiving touchdowns. So many receptions. That the amount of stiff arms he had was phenomenal. The amount of trash talk he did, and then he backed it up. And then I think the combo of D'Angelo Williams plus Christian McCaffrey will make it a really, really tight game. But like I said, depending on your defense, and because Ben Roethlisberger is your quarterback, I would give the Steelers the edge.
As I'm over here breaking shit. Yeah, like I said, both of our games would pretty much be even. Okay, so now it's your Lions against my Steelers for the win all be all.
I think the Lions take it.
I don't think so. This is going to be an undecided issue. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Okay, for everybody that's listening to this right now, we want to have you guys pick the winner of Danny's Detroit Lions and my Pittsburgh Steelers. And we'll see if we get any comments on this to see who wins the final battle per se. So what I'm going to do is let's re-record our lineups. So it's my Pittsburgh Steelers, which consists of Ben Roethlisberger, Jerome Bettis, Lynn Swan, Plaxico Burress, Hines Ward, and Mark Bruner, against your Carolina Panthers, who are.
Oh, we're doing the Panthers and not the Lions? Oh, I thought you were doing.
Oh, yeah, your Lions. Yeah, it's your Lions and my Steelers.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Silly goose.
Yeah.
Anyway, Matthew Stafford, Calvin Johnson, Golden Tate, Titus Young, Billy Sims, and Casey Fitzsimmons.
All right. So when you guys listen to this and you start hearing this part, we're gonna let you fans decide who wins this contest. I personally think it's the Pittsburgh Steelers, and of course Danny over here thinks it's his Lions. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll get some responses and see what happens. So go to on our channel, leave a comment. Like I said, you can also catch us on Facebook, and I'm on Twitter as well. So yeah, let's if you guys are interested, please give us your answers, and we'll announce the winner on our next episode by a vote, I guess. Right? That's how it works. Depending on how many tallies we get, we'll do that, and yeah, that's gonna about do it for our show this week. Hopefully next week, again, we'll have an audio issue fixed, so we all both got our own separate channels. We should have theme music. We're gonna have pictures up. Hopefully on this one, actually, we're gonna be doing some pictures here in a minute to get our swag on, I guess you can say. So yeah, we're gonna be definitely hooking up this site. So, and like I said, once the regular season gets here, we're going to be here every single week to keep everybody updated on what's going on. So, until next time, you fantastic people, for the Pick Six podcast, I am Larry Sazinski.
And I'm Danny Waiter. And just remember, guys and gals, take it for a touchdown. Have a good night.
Peace.